What's up, guys? I have three very popular Segway products here. I have my original Ninebot Max G30 that I have had for over 5 years now, I believe. I got the Ninebot Max G2 that I've had for almost 2, and I just got the Ninebot Max G3. So I'm going to compare these scooters to each other. We're going to go over their specs. I have a tape measure. We'll measure a few things, and then I'm going to take it out to the roads, and basically we'll do an acceleration test, and I'll put the video side by side so you guys can see the differences. So we'll do an acceleration test to the fastest speeds. We'll do some hill climbs, both going as fast as I can before the hill starts, and we'll do a hill climb from a stop, and we'll also do a braking test, and I'll do a descent as well just to show you guys what that looks like. And in a separate video, I will be comparing the Ninebot Max G3 to the GT3 and the ZT3 Pro, which is over there. It's not in the view of the camera, but I will make a separate video for that. And I also have a range test for the Ninebot Max G3. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's get started. So looking at the scooter decks, I prefer the G2 and the G3 because on the G30, this rear fender is taking up some of that basically deck space where it's more open here. And in fact, the G3 is the best because this part for the folding mechanism is very well integrated into the deck versus the G2 is here, just like the G30, similar to the G30. But the G30, this rear fender kind of takes some of that space away. So I'll measure from the rear fender to the front stem, where it's starting basically, and we're at 50 centimeters. This is about 52 centimeters versus if I go from the grip tape, it's about 49.5 centimeters. For the G3, if I go from the grip tape, it's 52.5 centimeters versus if I go from the end, it's about 54 centimeters. So the G3 appears to have the most amount of space. For the width, we're about 17 centimeters for the G30. We're about 18 centimeters for the G2. And we're about 19 centimeters for the G3. So the G3 has the biggest deck of all. As far as ground clearance, the G30 is a little above 7 centimeters off the ground. The G2 is about 10.5 centimeters off the ground. And the G3 being about 12 centimeters off the ground from its lowest point. So visually, you could see that the G2 is definitely taller than the G30, and that the G3 is taller than the G2. So I'll measure it from the ground to the top of the handle, which is about 119 centimeters for the G30, 127 centimeters for the top of this, the G2's handlebar, 129 almost centimeters to the top of this handlebar. Now, since the deck is higher off the ground, from the deck, it's actually about 105 centimeters to the top of the handlebar. Also about 105 centimeters to the top of the handlebar. 103 centimeters, a little over 103 centimeters to the top of the handle. Now time for the jump test. Now, the Ninebot Max doesn't have a suspension, so I'm just going to jump on this once and very lightly. That's it. And I didn't expect it to move because it doesn't have a suspension, but just for the sake of the review, I jumped on it. Alright, now these two actually have suspension. This one has the front hydraulic and the back one is not hydraulic. It's double spring or something. Alright, let's jump on this. So, definitely a lot better than the G30. And let's try the full hydraulic suspension G3. So, let's go. Okay, this one feels softer. There it is. Alright, so this is what the folders look like. I'm laughing because I just filmed this part and then I went to take a look and I realized the audio was off. So I'm refilming this part. But I'm a little bit tired because I'm going to pick up the scooters because I already picked them up several times. Okay, but this is what they look like folded. Picking them up, this one is the lightest one. That one feels most odd, and that one is very well balanced, but a little bit heavier than this one. So, but let's pick this up. So, this one is fairly light when I'm picking it up. So, definitely the most portable of the bunch. This is the one where it's kind of a little odd because the handlebar, the stem, is a little more to the right, just so the screen won't touch the deck part. And as a result, when I pick it up, it kind of tilts, kind of goes my way, like it kind of angles my way. And this is, you know, a little bit heavier than that one. Now normally I'd be lifting these up a little bit more easily, but I am at the moment a little bit tired. Okay, and let's lift this one up. This one is easier to lift, and I'm struggling now because, anyways, this one might actually be heavier than this, but because it's more well balanced when I'm lifting, it feels to me like it's easier to lift than this. Even though I feel like this is a little bit heavier, but just because it's more, like it doesn't tilt, just because the stem is centered, unlike these two. But this is definitely the winner in terms of portability. This thing is pretty light. So there it is. So this is what I was talking about. It's a little angled, where this one is like super angled, and this one is basically centered. And we'll do a quick walk around. So the G30 has a 350 watt motor, peak power of 700 watts. Pretty basic scooter, no suspension, and pneumatic tires. So 10-inch tires, pneumatic. Folding mechanism is pretty basic, where you open this up and pull it down. If you're more interested in the whole video, I'll link the entire video in the description box below for all three of these scooters. Screen is pretty basic as well. And yeah, charges from the side right here, just like the other ones. So then we get to the G2, and they really upgrade it, because now we have dual suspension. We have a double spring system in the back. We have hydraulic suspension in the front. And we have a 450 watt motor that has a peak power of 1,000 watts. So definitely a boost there. And oh, I should have mentioned with the G30, we have a drum brake in the front, as you guys could see right there. And if you're wondering why mine is pink over here, this was when the original one came out, they had 1,000 of these. It was a limited edition where this was pink, so I opted in to get that one. But most of the G30s are actually just this yellowish color. So again, full suspension for the G2, hydraulic in the front, not hydraulic in the back. So this thing, the folding thing, is beefed up a little bit, but the screen is pretty much the same. So, and then now they added indicators, so you can actually signal now, which is kind of cool. So a decent upgrade. And then we get to the G3, and I feel like this is like a true upgrade, because now we have dual hydraulic suspension. So hydraulic in the back, hydraulic in the front, adjustable. We got 2 disc brakes, so front and back, and we have an 850 watt motor, which goes up to 2,000 watts of peak power. It's just a lot more beefy. It also charges, just like all of these charge from the same spot. So, and all of these you can get an additional charger to charge it faster. But the G3 just looks a lot nicer compared to the other two. It's just really a much more, it's just much nicer scooter. Overall, you got some nicer light bars. You have these. The screen is really nice too on the G3. So when I turn it on, I'll put in my password, which if you guys grew up in the 80s or 90s, you guys will know what this password is. But the screen is also a lot nicer compared to the other scooters. And again, if you guys want to find out more, just check out the individual video. I also really like this because on the GT3, I use the GT3 quite often to go to the store, and I put bags here. Just that's something that I do. But again, check out the video because I have those two, the ZT3 Pro and the GT3 as well. Let's get to the riding. So we're going to start off with an acceleration test, and this is the only time in the video where the Max G3 was in boost mode. The way you activate that is you hold down the brake lever. While you're holding it down, you hold down the throttle, and it activates in a few seconds, shows you on the screen. So this was a short acceleration test for a short distance, and I want to show you guys how much of a difference there is even in a short distance. So the Max G3 finished in 15 seconds, Max G2 finished in 18 seconds, and the Max G30 finished in 22 seconds. Then I took it a little off-roading, and the whole point of this was to test out the suspension and also to see if it can actually continue to go on the grass. And they all had no issues going on the grass, but the G2 and the G3 were a lot smoother because they have a suspension, with the G3 being the smoothest of the bunch. Then I did a brake test, and I was trying to get as close to as 18 miles an hour as possible. Right when I passed the mailbox, I applied the brake. Now the G30 and the G2 have drum brakes, so the brakes are fine. And this was just retake showing you the full view of it with the G30. And the G30 and the G2 have similar braking performance, whereas the G3 definitely beats both of them because it has front and rear disc brakes. So much better brakes than the previous Ninebot Maxes. And then I did a full speed brake test where I was trying to go as fast as I can with each of the scooters, and The G3, I feel, has the best braking performance. Even though it's going a lot faster than the other two, it took a little more distance for it to stop compared to the G30, but it was going a lot faster than the G30. So keep that in mind. Then we did hill climbs, and this is where the biggest differences showed. Aside from acceleration, the G3 is just more powerful, so it can do these hill climbs much easier. And I weigh basically around 200 pounds, which is around 92 kilograms. So obviously if I weigh less, it'll take me up the hill a little bit easier. But I love this hill because this is a hill that I test a lot of scooters on, and some of the budget scooters can't even make this hill. Others, I have to zigzag to make it up, but all three of these did make it. However, the G3 is really, really beating the other two by quite a margin. So even now, the G3, I'm going 20 miles an hour, where the other two are averaging 9 to 10 miles an hour. And the biggest surprise was that the G2 was not too far ahead from the G30. So that was kind of the biggest thing, even though it has, it doesn't have a whole lot more power than the other one, but I was expecting it to beat it up by a little bit more than normal. So you could clearly see no zigzagging going on, but the G30 is not too far behind from the G2, where the G3 has been done for a while. And that's kind of what you're paying for with this scooter. So not only the higher top speed, again, region locked, you're also getting faster acceleration, you're getting better brakes, you're getting a better suspension. It can do it pretty much, aside from like the super, super crazy hills. And in fact, when I compare it to the ZT3 Pro and the GT3, I'm actually going to do another hill that's tougher than all of these that I don't think the G30 and the G2 can make. So this other hill test was from a standstill, where the other ones I was actually going as fast as I possibly can before I hit the hill. This one was from a standstill, and I was actually kind of expecting the G30 not to make it, but it made it just fine. I didn't even have to zigzag, and it wasn't too far behind from the G2. Again, not a huge difference in terms of performance between the G30 and the G2, other than the G2, the biggest advantage of the G2 over the G30 is its top speed. It can go a lot faster, it accelerates a little bit better, and it's a smoother basically. Where the G3 is like really a very, very nice upgrade. It's almost like it's like a completely different scooter because it's faster, higher top speed, smoother, better brakes, looks nicer, it feels nicer, it looks more premium. Just overall, I think Segway did a fantastic job with the Ninebot Max G3. So really, really fantastic. And then for the descent, I'm basically showing you guys that the top speed I got with the G3 was 30 miles an hour. With the G2, it was 24 to 25, and with the G30, it was around 21 miles an hour. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. Do you like the Ninebot Max G3? Is it worth upgrading? Do you have the G2? Do you have the G30? Are you thinking about upgrading? And I've also done and posted the Ninebot Max G3 range test recently, and I will be comparing it again to the ZT3 Pro and the GT3. So subscribe if you guys haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.